$510,000. That's the interest bill on a standard mortgage. That's not the loan. That's just the fee the bank charges for lending it to you. Most people hand over that $500,000 without ever asking a single question. But what if investing that extra money instead could hand you back $234,000 more? The math is real, and it has a catch that almost nobody talks about. Here's the scenario. A $400,000 mortgage, 30-year fixed, 6.5%. The base monthly payment comes out to $2,528 every month. Now meet two people, same house, same income, same extra $1,000 every month to work with. Person A throws that extra $1,000 straight at the mortgage principal every single month. Person B pays the minimum and drops that $1,000 into an index fund every month instead. Both people are spending the exact same amount, $3,528 monthly. The only difference is where that extra $1,000 goes each month. At 30 years, the market assumption here is 8% per year, so the long-run nominal average, and both own the home free and clear by year 30. That part is identical. Person A paid off the mortgage fast, completely done in about 14.8 years, month 177. After that, Person A can finally invest and puts the entire $3,528 in the market. Person B has been investing that $1,000 every month since day one, 15 extra years of compounding. Here's what the scoreboard looks like at year 30. This is the moment most people don't know about. Person A, the early payoff, $1,256,154 invested. Person B, invest from day one, $1,490,359. Investing from day one wins by $234,205. That gap exists because of one thing, 15 years of compounding that Person A simply never got. Compound interest doesn't care about effort. It rewards time above everything else. Now, does the gap grow if markets do better? Yes, and the numbers get striking fast. At 9% market returns, Person B wins by $455,000. At 10%, that gap blows out to $751,000, more than the original loan. The higher the market return above the mortgage rate, the more you leave on the table by paying early. But here's the honest flip side that most finance videos quietly skip right past. What if the market only returns 6%, or below the 6.5% mortgage rate? At 6% returns, paying off early wins by about $48,000. The math flips the moment your investment return drops below your mortgage rate. This is the real reason the decision isn't as simple as most people think it is. How much do you think you'll realistically earn in the market? Tell your number in the comments. Now let's dig into why the mortgage rate is the line. And what's happening inside those early payments? In the very first payment on this mortgage, roughly $850 goes to principal. The other $1,678, more than half, goes as pure interest to the bank. Mortgages are front-loaded on purpose. The bank collects most of its profit in the early years. Every extra dollar paid toward principal in year 1 or 2 saves the most interest by a wide margin. That's why Person A's early payoff strategy isn't crazy. The math of early payments is genuinely powerful. The problem is that 15 years of lost compounding in the market is more powerful at 8%. But there's something else here that the spreadsheet completely misses, and it's worth saying plainly. A paid-off house is the only investment that also means nobody can take your shelter away. There's a peace of mind value there that no formula can put a number on, and that's real. Now, what about the mortgage interest tax deduction? Doesn't that change the math? For most households today, it doesn't, and here's the real reason that's true. The standard deduction is so high now that most homeowners don't even itemize their taxes. If you're not itemizing, the mortgage deduction is worth exactly $0 to you. The bank is not your friend. It makes money when you stay confused about things like this. Here's another thing worth knowing. Money invested stays liquid. Money in home equity does not. If a crisis hits and you need cash fast, you can sell stocks in days. A house takes weeks or months. Home equity is valuable, but it is locked up until you sell or borrow against the house. Borrowing against your home to access that equity is another loan and another risk entirely. So liquidity is a real practical advantage of the invest first strategy, especially for younger households. But here's where the conversation gets honest. 8% is not guaranteed. It never is. Paying off the mortgage early hands you a return equal to your interest rate. And the market can't touch it. 6.5% with no market risk is actually a strong return, better than most savings accounts and bonds. Most people don't know they're already holding one of the best low-risk returns available. For someone near retirement or with a low tolerance for market swings, that certainty has enormous value. The younger you are and the longer your investing horizon, the more the math tilts toward investing. Time is the single biggest variable. More time in the market means more compounding wins the race. Starting at 25 beats starting rich, and it beats paying off early for the same reason. Now let's put all of this into a clear decision, because vague advice doesn't pay anyone's mortgage. First, before any of this, make sure the emergency fund is funded and high-interest debt is gone. If credit card debt exists at 20% interest, that conversation ends right there. Pay it first. With that cleared, here's the actual rule, and it comes down to one comparison. If a household can realistically earn more than the mortgage rate in the market, invest the difference. If markets are likely to underperform the mortgage rate, or if losing that payment would be catastrophic, pay it off. That is the entire decision. Not a personality test, not a feelings exercise, a math comparison. At 8% in the long-run market average, investing wins by $234,000. At 6% below the mortgage rate, paying off early wins by $48,000. The line is the mortgage rate, 6.5% in this scenario, and it doesn't move. Above the line, every percentage point of extra return multiplies into hundreds of thousands over 30 years. Below the line, the certain return of debt elimination is the smarter move every time, and there's also a hybrid path, and for a lot of households, it's the most realistic one. Max the employer, match in the 401k first. That's an instant 100% return on that money. No investment on earth beats free employer money. Take every dollar of match available, always. After the match is captured, the remaining extra money is what faces the invest versus payoff decision. Some households split it, half to the market, half to the mortgage, and that's a defensible choice too. Splitting won't maximize either outcome, but it reduces regret if the market underperforms expectations. Nobody is coming to fix this for you at Sinatiki Ubaus. The decision and its consequences belong entirely to the household making it, which brings Dad to the verdict, and it's the one number that matters most in this whole conversation. At 8% market returns, investing the extra 1,000 beats paying off early by $234,000. But if the market earns less than 6.5%, the guaranteed payoff wins, and that line is fixed. Max the match, then ask one question: can this household reliably earn more than the mortgage rate? If the answer is yes, invest the difference. The $234,000 gap is the math backing that up. If the answer is no, or if the certainty of owning a paid-off home outweighs the expected gain, pay it down. That's the verdict. And the math doesn't change based on how anyone feels about it. Now, one more thing your dad would want you to know before you go, because this one surprises most people. The early payoff strategy has a hidden advantage the math doesn't fully show, and it lives in the early years. Every extra dollar paid in month one saves more than a dollar paid in month 100 because of how amortization works. If a household can't commit to 30 years of disciplined investing, paying down early removes the behavior risk entirely. The best investment strategy is the one that actually gets executed, not just the one that wins on paper. A $200,000 advantage means nothing if the money gets spent on lifestyle inflation instead. The best argument for paying off the mortgage isn't the math. It's that the money can't be spent if it's in the house. Forced savings through mortgage payoff beats zero savings through undisciplined investing every single time. Know yourself and build a plan that works with the human being making the decisions, not against them. So here's Dad's one rule on this. If the expected return beats the mortgage rate, invest the difference, otherwise own the house. The math is clear. The line is the mortgage rate. Now go run the numbers on your own mortgage and make the call.